Hey, Nathan Drake here. You know, while I'm out climbing every rock I can find, I always enjoy listening to the latest podcast from the PSVG Podcast Network. Oh, yeah!
Great, Kevin. I'm wearing my championship ring right here from my AAA baseball team. Life is good, man. Life is good.
Cool.
And if you couldn't just tell who that is, we got Caroline here tonight as well.
Hey. Yeah, me and Q are, here. And, geeking out, yeah.
And you don't even know why yet. But last but certainly not least, we have Seth, sir. How we doing, man?
I'm good. I want to learn more about this AAA championship ring that Q has.
Yeah, me too.
No, my parents got season tickets, so they gave them out as gifts. But
It's the team, is that the Durham Bulls?
The Durham Bulls. Yeah, man.
All right.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm not. I could have made it to pro baseball, but I quit halfway through high school. So
Speaking of championship rings and Caroline's Green Bay Packers hat that she's wearing right now. I a cousin. This is going somewhere. A cousin of it's actually a cousin of my wife's. They were in the Seattle airport a couple days ago and ran into Paul Freys, former Green Bay Packer from the 90s. And my cousin, he's like 11 years old, and he has a picture of him wearing Paul Freys' Super Bowl ring.
wow,
It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
So
awesome.
I'm like, 4 steps away from
basically
some random former football player at an airport.
I used to work for the Hall of Fame Players Classic, so
Okay.
yeah.
Have you ever been to the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if
in
that was
Ohio.
I've also
Yeah,
been to the
yeah,
Super Bowl.
All right.
There
I
you go.
used to be a personal shopper for a Super Bowl champion. Does that count for anything?
Ooh, yeah, it does.
That's pretty cool.
It was Teddy Bruschi from the New England Patriots back in the day.
Ooh, go Pats.
My job was basically we put on golf tournaments for the older Hall of Fame players that didn't make all of the money that they make now. And they had, dementia and brain issues from all of the trauma that they had while they were in the league, and raised awareness and money for them. And people got to sponsor. And if you paid enough money, you got to golf with a Hall of Famer. So it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I'm going to take a page out of Kyle's book here and say, but we're not a sports podcast. This is the gaming podcast. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hopefully telling a friend. We appreciate your love and support. We're getting a lot new eyes coming on. So welcome aboard if you're listening for the first time. Due to some of our MomoCon coverage, we have seen some new people join the rank and file of PSVG fandom, if you will. So we appreciate that, everybody, and hope you pass it along and hope you find something that appeals to you.
It's MomoCon?
Yep.
I thought it was a mom convention.
No.
Like all about mom jeans.
Donnie was not. While Donnie
That's
may
just-
have mom
that's just
jeans,
a
he was
joke.
not invited that way.
Joking.
I know.
Just
Momo, for people are wondering,
mean
is
to
the
offend
Japanese
everybody.
word for peach, and peach is the Georgia fruit, and it's in Atlanta. So there you go.
Cool. Yeah, those were a great set of interviews.
Yeah, so and that's only the beginning. We do still have more up our sleeves to come down the pipeline. Some may show up on board with VG or kind of be spread around depending on the content we're covering and those things. So stay tuned. There's still more to come from there. Donnie recorded a bunch of stuff. We're just working on the audio files for that. But let's start each show as we always do. We'll talk a little bit about what we've been playing. I'll go first this time, just a rarity because I don't really have a whole lot to talk about. Still playing a mess of Fortnite, of course, so I'm not going to talk about that anymore. But I am still absolutely loving revisiting Hyrule Warriors yet again. I kind of play that whenever I get a chance to sneak away. And, some of these maps take a good 40, 45 minutes to complete, too. So it's like a nice hour break. I can knock out a map and kind of just pecking away with that. And I love it even better on the Switch than I did. I played on the 3DS previously, so definitely getting some new enhancements there for sure. And then the only other thing I will mention is I picked up at the Toys R Us clearance sale a couple weeks ago, actually, Skylanders Imaginators, which Coach has said he was a big fan of. And I've been a Skylanders fan, at least back when they first came out. Platinum the first 2 on PlayStation before, and then kind of trickled away a little bit because the games got a little bit too quirky, if you will, and didn't really stay with that core thing. Well, this one kind of went back to the way it was, so I've been playing that a little bit. Being able to do some co-op with my wife, too, so that was a little bit nice to have that game time together as well. But that's it from me. So, Caroline, what have you been playing?
I've also been playing Hyrule Warriors obsessively, I might add. I've already beaten Legend mode with the help of my husband, and we're currently going through on hard mode, trying to get all the Skulltulas, and we're chipping away at the adventure mode map. Other than that, Brian has actually been playing Fire Emblem Warriors again because he says he likes that game more. So I've not been playing. I've been watching him play, and he's been just kind of cruising through it. But Hyrule Warriors has been taking up my time this week. That's about it.
Oh, that was a lot shorter than I was expecting.
Yeah, sorry.
That's what she said.
Literally, that's what she said. So, Seth, what have you been playing, man? What have you been up to over there in PlayStationville? Because I think that's kind of all you've been playing, huh?
Yeah. Mostly I've just been playing PlayStation. I can't think the last time I turned on my Switch and played it just myself. I played Mario with my kids a little bit, but on the PlayStation, most of what I've been playing is on the PSVG YouTube channel. One thing, Super Mega Baseball 2, I have just finished game 17 of my season, and all of the games, I think almost all of them, are up on our PSVG YouTube channel because it is Team PSVG going through the season. We are presently, I think, 13 wins to 4 losses, and now I think there are 3 games left, and then we get into the playoffs.
Not bad.
Yeah. So you can watch. I'll have a few more games of that coming up. The most valuable players so far are Coach Mo as our leading pitcher. I believe he's pitched 5 games. He's 5-0 and has 60 strikeouts in those 5 games.
Nice.
Wow.
Josh has a 493 batting average.
Wow.
Oh, jeez. That's unheard of.
Yeah, I have no clue why. It must have been the swing that I picked for him that I'm able to do. And Q, I think in the last game, no, in the most recent game, actually Kevin hit a home run his first at bat, and you got a grand slam your second at bat.
I got a grand slam.
You have gotten grand slams also. So yes, you are the power. You are the hitter, the number 4 hitter. You're the cleanup man.
What? Yes, in real life and in video games.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
God.
So I've been having fun with Super Mega Baseball, and have basically been recording the whole season for the YouTube channel. And then my other big game I've been running through since Friday has been Detroit.
Nice.
Currently, I'm looking at our channel, and I have 13 parts are currently uploaded, and I believe 4 more are in the process of uploading right now.
Nice.
Each chapter or each part is anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes, depending on how long the chapters are. So if you're somebody who's interested in Detroit but doesn't want to buy it necessarily, you can see my official, unofficial story. And I'm having a good time with it. It is it's an interesting story. It really kind of catches me off guard. At the end of every chapter, it shows you a flow chart of all the different options that you could have, different paths you could have gone down. And I'll play a chapter and I'll kind of go through, and it'll seem like I'm just making whatever decisions it tells me to make, and it's just a straight path. And then it'll get to this flow chart, and I will have covered a third of the possible options of different paths I could have taken, or something that you do in one chapter, early on in the game. Maybe you decide to grab a stuffed teddy bear off the bed. Well, 5 chapters later, you might have the opportunity to give that stuffed teddy bear to a character that might then help you.
Oh, gotcha.
Cool.
So it's something like, I mean, that's not a specific example, but there are things like that where I know I can see in this flow chart that there's something I must have done earlier in the game that either locked a path or opened a path for me. So it's kind of neat. It really feels like my own story so far. So I'm having fun with it. And right before, well, the last part that I played, there was definitely a tough decision that had to do with whether I pull the trigger on another character or not. And the thing that I love about the Quantic Dream games is they're like the only games that I play that make me think about what the ethics of pulling a trigger in a video game.
Sure. Now, does this still feel very much like Quantic Dream? Is it like still along the same lines of like Heavy Rain, or does it actually feel like something radically different, or just more of the same, which isn't bad by any means? Because I'm a fan.
Right.
So.
No, it's definitely. I mean, control wise and thematically is a Heavy Rain game, but Heavy Rain or a Quantic Dream game. Heavy Rain was made in 2010 or 11.
Sure.
And this is 7-8 years later, so the controls have been refined. It looks amazing. I also think you can, in 2010 there was no Walking Dead or any other Telltale game.
Yeah,
I mean there were Telltale games, but not.
They weren't good at that point.
Yeah. There was no Life is Strange. There was no Until Dawn. These other games that are, took some of that Heavy Rain idea, expanded on it, and did better with it.
Nice.
And now Detroit, I think, has learned from those games, and then it's still a bit quirky. It's I think Quantic Dream is a quirky company. David Cage is a quirky person, so it definitely is flavored with him. But I've been enjoying it a lot so far. I'd say if you're interested in playing it, to probably not watch the playthrough at this point.
Sure.
But maybe after you play it, check in and see what decisions I made that were different and so on. So those are the two things I've been playing.
Excellent. So Q, that leaves you, man. What have you been playing? I know we talked not that long ago, but what's been up since then?
Yeah, man. So I think one last time I forgot to mention that I've only been playing with friends State of Decay 2.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
This is a game that I would not play this game if it were up to me. I am only playing it when I see people playing it. And even then it's like, I don't know. But then they're like, hey, man, come join me. I need to go get some gas for my cars. And I'm like, all right, I guess we can go get gas in the game for your cars. I guess I'll drive the minivan and you drive the utility military truck.
The Mobile.
Yes, I mean, I'm enjoying the game, but it's not my natural appeal. I don't like zombie games. That's not my thing.
Yeah,
I'm playing it. I'm playing it on Game Pass mostly because people want me to play with them, and I'm a good friend. The other night, Team PSVG went 9-2 on Overwatch. We cleaned house. We were wrecking. It was me, Kyle, Josh,
Coach.
Coach was Coach. Oh yeah, Coach was on. He left about 3/4 of the way through, but yeah, and two other PSVG fan club members. Their gamer tags are escaping on me right now.
Oh, Dean Anthony was one, right?
I think so. Yeah. And I'm sorry. I don't know you personally. I apologize about that. But we were wrecking house. I mean, honestly, for a while, I thought we were undefeated, and then we lost a couple of rounds. And finally, playing a little bit of Overcooked with the wife, and we got an indie game called Bleed on the Switch. I was thinking it was $5. It was like a Contra-esque. Platformer shooter. And for when I need time by myself, I play this game called Deep Rock Galactic, which is dwarves. It's like a FPS. Dwarves go into mining missions, and you go in teams of 4. It's kind of like a horde mode meets Left 4 Dead kind of thing, and you dig out. Anyway, it's like better therapy because you're digging minerals, and then you get attacked by bugs. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's very soothing. I like killing things and then going back to mining for stuff. It's a very soothing experience for me.
Fair enough. I've been playing State of Decay 2 a little bit as well, and I'm kind of the same boat as you. And actually, like zombie games, where I'm like, I could see this being super fun with other people, but by yourself, it's kind of like There's better stuff I could be playing. So much like you, I'm kind of like hopping on the Xbox, seeing who's on, seeing what they're playing, and then deciding whether or not I want to go that route. But as we're recording this, the classic edition for Far Cry 3 dropped for anybody who had the season pass for Far Cry 5.
Oh, wow.
So I downloaded that this morning, so I'm probably going to go back to that and be playing that for a little bit. But we'll see what happens there. So that's enough of what we've been playing. So let's jump into some topics we want to talk about and basically overall the releases and the news of the week.
This week in Play Some Video Game News.
So for this week's releases, guys, I'm going to kind of go through the list and kind of talk about what's coming out and then kind of get each of you, if anything's on your radar, anything you're interested in, we'll chat a little bit about that before moving on to the next thing. So for the week of June 5th, we're looking at, as we're recording this, we got Far Cry 5 Hours of Darkness is dropping. That's the DLC that takes place in Vietnam for Far Cry 5. We have Onrush coming out, Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn, Vampire, Warhammer 40,000. Then on Nintendo Switch, we have Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. Happy Birthdays is coming out. There's a demo for that now. I know that. And The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker. I'm not sure what that is, but that's coming out as well. So, Caroline, is there anything on your radar that's coming out for this week, or is everything just moving on?
I'm waiting for E3, and I think the next game that I'm waiting on that's coming out is actually like Octopath Traveler, which is not until July. So I'm kind of I have Hyrule Warriors to tide me over for a month or so, and sorry, none of those piqued my interest.
Fair enough. Seth, anything there interests you?
So there actually a lot of them interest me at a base level, but I don't see myself playing many of them, at least to start with. I tried Onrush. I got in, or I played the beta a week or two ago, and didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
It's fine, but I'm learning. I like the racing games, but I am learning that I like racing games that have a specific track in a course that you kind of learn and kind of perfect, rather than just open. And that one isn't even a racing game; it's vehicular combat, sort of.
Right.
It's strange. Vampire looks really interesting, but I'm gonna wait till reviews at least. And then the other thing, with the way we're recording this, I just today, as we're recording it, got into the Crew 2 beta. But then I tried to put the code into the PlayStation, and it said the code had already been used. So I'm waiting to see. I contacted support, and I'm hoping I can get in. So, assuming that works out, I might have some Crew 2 gameplay up on YouTube. Of course, that comes out later in the month. Nothing else from the releases that I'm really looking forward to.
Fair enough. Q, anything on your radar there?
Yeah, I've always wanted to jump into Far Cry 5, but I was at the time I've taken this stance when it comes to campaign-based games or single-player-based games that I'm gonna enjoy them just as much when they're $25, $30, $40 as they are when they're $60. And what I did last year is that I waited till near Black Friday, and that's when I picked up around that not on Black Friday, but around that season, I picked up South Park, I picked up Shadow of War, I picked up Assassin's Creed Origins because they were all heavily discounted. And because there's no multiplayer element to them, I was kind of like, well, there's no rush to get good at it. There's no rush to perfect my craft. So basically, one thing that I really like about Far Cry 5 was the Vietnam theme. Actually, honestly, I wanted Battlefield to be Vietnam themed this year. I was really disappointed. I thought the V was for Vietnam when I first saw the picture. I was like, oh, and then I was like, no, World War II again. Yay. I think I'm gonna definitely, it's one of those DLCs that I'm excited for. I'm just gonna wait till probably the first big sale for Far Cry 5 or the first drop in price. I'm probably gonna jump in there. So.
It makes sense, yeah. With the season pass too. That's the first of just 3 major DLCs they're playing. That's just the first one, so we still got a lot more to come too. So it's definitely, you get the most bang for your buck for sure. I can appreciate that. Look at the list too. It's kind of the same thing. A Vampire has looked interesting. I've been following that for a little bit now, and I know Kyle has been watching that as well too. We kind of both hope that it actually ends up being good. So fingers crossed there that it does. Other than that, though, the only thing that I'm excited for, and I think I'm one of the few people, Shaq Fu, man.
Oh, yeah.
Number one, I'm getting it for free, so I can't complain there.
Yeah.
And it looks like a great beat 'em up. Like, it looks very much like Streets of Rage, but cartoony with a little, tongue in cheek. And I mean, Shaq's always been a good guy about not taking himself seriously. So I think he had more to do with this game than the last one for sure. So I think hopefully it has some of his personality in there. It should be at least decent. But like I said, it's free for me, so I definitely can't complain. Yeah. But I am kind of intrigued to see what happens as far as reviews for maybe somebody who had to pay for it, or what the press says about it. Because right now it's kind of been tight-lipped. Although I do know they gave out copies very early. Like, there were people streaming it a good month ago, but I didn't watch any because I wanted to kind of stay away from it a little bit. But we'll see. The only other thing to note, so as the time we're recording this, PlayStation Plus titles have not been released. They will be by the time you guys are hearing that. But Games with Gold was announced today from when we're recording it. So June's lineup for Games with Gold includes Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia, Smite Gold Bundle, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform, and Lego Indiana Jones 2 to round up the month. So not really a strong month there for our Xbox.
Hey, no, Lego Indiana Jones.
That's probably the best title on there, I think. Although some people might argue that Sonic All-Star Racings is good too, but which is ironic because those are the Xbox 360 games that you get for free. Assassin's Creed Chronicles, those have not really done well, but it does complete the trilogy because every single one of those games have been free on Games with Gold now up until that one, so people can complete their collection without having to pay for it. And then Smite is odd because Smite is a free game, so all they're doing is giving the DLC with it, which has 20 more characters and other skins and stuff. So that's also an odd one because you're not really getting a free game. You're just getting some free skins. So a little weak there. So it's a good chance for Sony to have even just a kind of ho-hum month and still beat Xbox as far as their free titles that they have out for the month. So we'll see. I'm
not going to lie, Kevin. I don't know if I'm not allowed to opinionate, but I've always felt that since there wasn't like a natural Quali, what do you think about this?
Oh, yeah.
No. I've always said that since Game Pass became a thing, I wouldn't be surprised if Xbox Game with Gold took a dive for lower quality titles because I'm pretty sure Phil Spencer's paying a bit of a buck to keep all those games available on Game Pass. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure they have to kind of pick and choose. Okay, what do we give out for free? What are we taking maybe at a loss on Game Pass just to keep them on the library? So
that's very fair. That's a good point. That's very valid there too, because Game Pass right now is way better than Games with Gold regardless. So yeah, that's a valid point. So I can appreciate that. All right, so that wraps it up for the news. Now dropping a little bit, almost PSVG OT-esque for y'all. None of you have been on to face this, but now it's time for Kevin Hates Everything.
He used to enjoy games like Mario and Zelda. He used to like Bethesda and the New England Patriots. He used to love to visit the Nintendo Shack. But now, Kevin hates everything.
So this week, guys, Kevin hates E3 spoilers. So we've seen it a lot already this month, leading into E3, which is 1 week away from the time you're listening to this, but 2 weeks from when we're recording it, basically. And we've already seen Walmart leak things multiple times. Walmart Canada, go Walmart.
Yeah.
We've seen them leak multiple times where Bethesda embraced it and kind of just ran with the whole Rage 2 thing. So not sure if that was planned from the start to kind of release the info before E3, or they just took that leak and saw the opportunity and their marketing team jumped all over it. But today, once again, as we're recording this, Bethesda decided to troll me literally the entire day with this Fallout announcement that they're building up for something, which once again, it doesn't make sense for Bethesda to talk about it before their press conference at E3, and they might not at this rate, but they've been trolling all day on Twitch with showing the Pip-Boy character and just not doing random things. And now, right now, we're recording, he's actually sleeping. He's laying down. He has a blanket on. The lights are off, but they're still streaming on Twitch. This is insanity. And then we're seeing things like Nintendo, as we're recording right now, is announcing the new Pokemon games. Why? That's ammo for E3. You have all eyes on you. So it seems right now people are rallying for a spot before E3 as opposed to waiting for E3. Call of Duty had their big announcement they unveiled. Battlefield had their announcement they unveiled, and it's all within weeks of E3, which is kind of weird. Now, for me, actually, you know what? I'm going to save my thoughts. I'm going to go to you guys first. Let you guys speak your thoughts on E3 spoilers or leaks or, pre-press conferences, if you will. Your thoughts. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Why? And I'll go at the end. So I'll save it for you guys to go first. So, ladies first, Caroline, your thoughts.
I was going to post a blog post several weeks ago now that was just nothing but those spoilers that, they're fake, obviously, but some of these end up being coming to fruition. Like the Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee was legit, as we just found out. And I can't believe that, leaks happen and stuff, but I can't believe the availability of them now. That just it's like something every day, and it is getting on my nerves too. It's something that we have to grin and bear, and unless we go radio silent on social media, which is not going to happen, I'm tired of it too, and it's just something that I don't remember it being this bad last year, but I think it's just maybe it gets progressively worse every year. I don't know. I'm ready for E3 to happen, just so we get to that bridge, we cross it, and we don't hear about it for another year.
All right, fair enough. Seth, your thoughts?
I get why people look forward to E3 and surprises, and it's fun. In the last 3 or 4 years, I've been to the PlayStation E3 experience event where we're at the theater, and when everyone when the Final Fantasy VII announcement came out and the theater erupted, it was awesome. So it's cool to be a part of that and everything. But in general, I really don't. I'm not bothered by spoilers for announcements of game announcements. I mean, E3 is a 3-day long video game trailer that it's just I'm really I'll get wrapped up into it and I'll see things that I'm excited about, but ahead of time it's just like, wow, I could find that information out in a press release and choose to watch the videos I was interested in after the fact, which is actually how I consume most of the E3 press conferences except for Sony. I watch what I want to afterwards, because I don't feel like staying awake until midnight and watching 2 hours worth of Bethesda. Or I'm also a little tiny bit jaded on previews in general. I was able to watch Solo in the movie theater on Monday, and I've seen Solo and now Infinity War in the theater, which is I couldn't tell you the last time I saw 2 movies in a single calendar year in a movie theater, and now I've seen 2 in like a month's time. And I swear there were 10 movie previews. I don't need to see 10 movie previews. I don't need to see 10 video games.
10? Really? Or you
exaggerating
a lot?
I'm not exaggerating. I might be exaggerating by like 2, but there were 10.
Wow.
Well, that's why I never go to the, number one, I don't go to the movies hardly anymore anyway. Number 2, I just go there 15 minutes later because I know I'm not going to have missed any part of the actual movie. But
anyway, that's beside. I mean, that's plays into what I have enjoyed and I'm looking forward to Mission Impossible is the bigger movie that I'm looking forward to this year. But I don't need to see that trailer. I don't need to see a new trailer for Red Dead Redemption or for Spider-Man or for The Last of Us 2. I don't know. I'm feeling kind of weird and ambivalent about E3 right now. I suppose that might change as I get close to it. So based on that feeling, I could care less if I get spoiled about the new. I don't even know Nintendo Switch wise what we know. Pokemon's coming. We know Smash is coming.
Yep.
I guess we could get spoiled about Shovel Knight being in Smash Brothers, or
I I think that's just been like the talk for the past few years, though,
Well,
and people just don't really believe it anymore. But who knows?
No, I'm just saying, like, in general, there's not. We know that Let's Go Fire Emblem is coming in the fall, supposedly. And, so there's not. I'm at the point where I don't feel like I can be spoiled that much or be bugged by it. Heck, I watch. I'm getting into Formula One racing now, and of course, all the F1 races for the most part are raced at other time. At 2 a.m. my time because they're in France or whatever. So I'll go on. I'll look at what the race result was, and then I'll still go on and watch the whole race. So I'm just not bugged by spoilers at this point.
Okay, fair enough. Q, speak your piece, sir. Your thoughts on E3 pre-stuff.
I mean, it doesn't spoilers don't bother me because I feel like 50% of them are, developed by the developers and the publishers themselves. Like, I'm not saying that the Walmart Canada one was Bethesda's own imagination, but I feel like half of them are, and like they want to I don't know. It's like they want to control the hype, and what better to control that hype than by producing your own leak. I mean, it happens in politics all the time. People leak stuff all the time on purpose. And it's one thing when like someone at GameStop in the back room takes a picture of a poster. It's another thing when like the website releases all these titles. It's like, come on. It's like, I mean, I don't know. But as far as like, do they impact my hype? Not at all. Like, I mean, my hype going E3 is like the Thunderdome, and even if you spoil, I don't know, something that I cared about a lot, I know there's gonna be something at E3 that I am gonna get that I haven't heard about, and I'm gonna love, and I'm gonna get hooked on. And these E3, I'm hyped because there's Halo, there's Splinter Cell, there's Pokemon, there is, I don't know, Ubisoft is gonna knock my pants off, and I don't know, I'm just so hyped going into E3 that no spoiler can chip away at it, but it won't, like, man, once Phil Spencer gets on stage, I just want to bow down and worship him,
And all the cars on stage,
all the cars on stage, for sure.
All right, so if you're ready for this, I'm going to tell you guys why you're all wrong. All right, we'll start with the whole thing of the whole leaks, the Walmart leaks, and the flub up there with this. So I worked in retail for a long time, entirely too long, if you will. There is, I want the gaming industry to stop giving these people the heads up. There is zero need for that. Mm-hmm. They don't need to know what games are coming out ahead of time. They don't need to know release dates ahead of time, because here's the thing. If you announce this brand new Mario game at E3, GameStop does not need to be ready to take pre-orders that freaking second. They can announce the Mario and say, starting Monday, next Monday, June, whatever, we will, pre-orders will go live, and that's fine. And that will, reduce the risk of a leak coming out by tenfold right there, because then it has to be something internal at that point. So I plead the gaming industry to stop with that nonsense. There is no need for it. GameStop doesn't need to know. People don't need to pre-order that second. And we're looking at things that people generally now don't pre-order unless they're getting a discount. It's not because they're so hyped that they need to pay for it right away. It's the discount factor, or it's you're dangling something in front of them for pre-ordering. Like Call of Duty, you get the beta if you pre-order, so you might pre-order. Pre-ordering was an issue back in the day when games weren't as common.
Right.
When you had a game that was hard to find, you might want to pre-order it. So I remember like the Katamari Damacy games. I found the first one by accident when it came out and bought that. And every other release after that, I always pre-ordered because, generally speaking, if someplace had it, they had like 3 copies. So I wanted to make sure that I had those things. Nowadays, it's not an issue. I remember a few years ago, 7-Eleven was selling Call of Duty on release day. They are literally everywhere. There is no need. I was working in Best Buy Mobile, and I was selling Watch Dogs 2 when it came out. It does not make sense now. You don't need to pre-order games, so knock it off. That will prevent them from leaking anything. So that's number one. Number two, the reason it irritates me is because E3 for me, it's a gamer's Christmas. Mm-hmm. So when you're a kid and you get a little bit older and you find out where your parents hide the Christmas presents, you might go take a little peek, and you're excited at that moment when you see it, But on that Christmas day, you kind of have to fake that excitement, and it's dumbed down for you.
Right.
So yes, it's good to know, like, hey, I found out the secret. This is coming out, and I'm so excited. But when you actually see the whole thing, you're like, yeah, I kind of knew that, and it brings that level down. I don't want that. I love watching E3 and seeing, Xbox come out with the world exclusive, and it's this great game I didn't know was coming, and you're like, oh my God, this is fantastic. That's what I want. I don't want to know 6 months before E3 that they're going to talk about this at E3. So I'm hoping in the case of Sony, so we know Sony came out and they said, hey, we're talking Death Stranding, we're talking Spider-Man, we're talking Ghosts, and we're talking Seth, help me, what's the other one?
Days Gone.
Last of Us.
Last of Us.
My bad.
So that's a good guess though. So we know they're talking about that. So in my mind, that means, okay, I know those are coming, but I don't know anything else that's coming. I'm going to get some surprises, hopefully. Microsoft hasn't really talked about much. Yes, we have, we can allude to it. And same thing with Ubisoft. Like we think, we're pretty sure Splinter Cell's coming back with all this hype, but we don't know for sure. So that's still a little something we can hang on to. And I'll still be psyched when I see Sam Fisher come up on the screen or something like that. Like that's what I want. And I think with these pre-press conferences, okay, so now if Nintendo, they unveiled the Pokemon stuff today, when they bring up Pokemon on E3, I'm tuning off. Like mentally, I'm like, okay, I already saw this. I don't need any more. Show me the stuff I don't know that's coming. Show me Smash characters. Do something I don't already know about. Don't reiterate the details of what we already know. That's why I'm afraid that what's going to happen, like when, they talk, we know Battlefield's probably going to be on Microsoft's main stage because they kind of have that partnership with them. And during the trailer, it was like Xbox branded versus Sony branded. So it's pretty safe to assume that there's going to be some Battlefield stuff there. I'll pay a little attention, but I don't need 20 minutes on it now. Like I'm good. You can show me another trailer with some more gameplay and I'll be hyped, but that's it. I don't need more than that. So don't do that. Gaming should be, E3 should be the Christmas for gamers where we're excited to open up those presents and see what we have and build that excitement because it's about the gamers and it's about the games.
Mm-hmm.
If we already know what's going on, then why bother watching? I want that excitement. I want the hype to maintain. So please, gaming industry, knock it off. Hashtag end rants. End rant. Hashtag. Exactly. So that brings us towards the close of the show there, boys and girls. That's all we had for you this week. But before we go, Caroline, where can people find you and what you've been up to lately?
People can find me on Twitter at the Nintendame. I am always in the shack pretty much, except this week I am going to Disney World, or I guess it was last week now, whenever. And I'm also with my man Kevin here. We do Arcadia Academia, and we have a cool little poll up that you guys should go vote on right now. It's what we're going to be playing next and talking about next for episode 6. Do you want me to play Maniac Mansion or Moonwalker?
And right now, Maniac Mansion is winning as of when we're recording this. So,
Sweet.
Which is kind of surprising. I thought Moonwalker would be winning, but...
So
well, you know what? I've already played Moonwalker.
If you do Moonwalker, I would volunteer to be on that. I'm assuming you're talking about Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. There's not some other random Moonwalker game.
Nope, that's the one.
So if you do Moonwalker, I will figure out a way to join you.
All right,
But
totally.
I voted for Maniac Mansion because it is objectively the better, more important game.
I've never played it.
As a Michael Jackson Moonwalker fan, and who can't play any of those LucasArts games because I'm terrible at them, Maniac Mansion is objectively the better game.
Gotcha.
It's going to be funny to see if that does win because Caroline ordered the Thimbleweed Park limited run
physical,
games, right?
Yeah,
the physical. So you're going to be playing that, and this Maniac Mansion is the granddaddy of Thimbleweed Park. So
right. So it gave me some good insight into what I need to do for Thimbleweed.
Yep.
That's where we've been talking. I've been talking it a bit on Discord with Mo and with some other people when talking about Detroit.
Yeah,
and talking about the idea of the modern quote unquote walking simulator and everything. Really, Detroit, Until Dawn, the Telltale games, and even like games like Firewatch are all can be traced back in some way to Maniac Mansion and games like that.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And it's a different direction than a Thimbleweed Park, where a Thimbleweed Park is a throwback, maybe like the way a little bit like Shovel Knight is a throwback to
totally.
Mega Man.
100%. It definitely is. That's a great analogy.
Yeah. Where Detroit is to Maniac Mansion like I don't know, Uncharted is to early platformers.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know. That one's a little more tenuous.
Yeah, it's the evolution of it. I get where you're going with that.
But I see Maniac Mansion as, and that's the precursor to today's Detroit and Until Dawn. So
yeah, that's fair.
So that's why it's a good time to look at that one.
Definitely. So Seth, since you're already talking, man, where can people find you and what you're working on?
They can find us on Twitter at PSXP Podcast. We recently put up the PlayStation E3 preview with Kyle and Justin and myself, and at least Justin and I will be talking PlayStation post E3 and hopefully joined by somebody else.
Oh, definitely. I think you'll have no problem with that.
Oh, yeah. And then you can find my regular Twitter at Seth Joseph Roy. And then keep an eye on the PSVG YouTube channel for the conclusion of Detroit. I hope to jump into some more of that tonight. And also the conclusion of our Super Mega Baseball season. So,
fair enough. So, Q, man, where can people find you and what you are up to? Sorry, I hear you resurrected a certain podcast.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but since
bring it up, man.
My regular Twitter is at Quatley360, and if you can't spell my name, then don't worry about it. You're not worthy. Get at me. I revive an old podcast. This is a podcast that I used to record before PSVG, before Donnie found me in my cradle, and that sounds weird.
So he cradled you?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. It's called Pixel Melee Show, and you can find me at Pixel Melee Show on Twitter. And basically the point of this podcast is 15-minute episodes. I go in there, I deliver the goods in 15 minutes, and I get out. If you have a short commute to work or if you have a short lunch break, that's when you get it in. That's when you get the Pixel Melee Show in.
Fair enough. Check it out, everybody. So last but not least, you can follow me at PSVG Kevin. Follow the show at PSVG, of course. Hit up the website, psvg.blog. You can check out all the interviews from MomoCon as well as video content of those as well. If you want to see some of those voice actors and developers Donnie got the chance to speak with. And look forward to more kind of content like that from PSVG as we kind of venture out into this whole new world of conventions and interviews and whatnot there too. There'll definitely be more coming down the pipeline. Also going to plug a little something for my boy Justin Warner. He has a show out, if you haven't seen it already, Marvel's Eat the Universe. New episode dropped today. But basically the premise of the show, it's a really short show, about 8 minutes, where he cooks with somebody tied to Marvel in some way, shape, or form and does Marvel-inspired dishes on the go. So check that out on YouTube. It's Eat the Universe. I think that's about it, everyone. But buckle your seatbelts. We are on the week of E3 here.
Oh my God.
So get ready. You know how we do, everybody. So you're going to get live reactions. You're going to get blog posts about what we thought of the press conferences. You're going to get podcasts about what we thought about the conferences. You are going to hear so much of us. You're going to be totally sick of us and then go subscribe to like an NPR Car Talk podcast or something like that instead. But before you do that, more importantly than anything, we ask, as always, that you never stop gaming.